Hi, it's Jeff from JeffTV. How's it going? So we're back again. Today we're going to do a bow review on a Hungarian bow from Laszlo Kasai. He's the famous Hungarian archer who sort of, basically redefined horse archery in Hungary. He's brought out a whole range of bows, arrows, all sorts of equipment. He even has a training school, and he's become that famous that he's actually been awarded medals of merit by the Hungarian government for his achievements. Anyway, so I thought we'd have a look at one of his bows. So what we've got today is this. It's a huge, great thing. I have to step back to get it in frame. It's called the Buzzard Avarian bow. If you see me like bending down all the time, the reason it's got so much information on the paper, I have to keep referring down here, so that's why I'm looking down at this table. Anyway, this is called the Buzzard Avarian bow. It's available through Hunt Archery. I'll put a link in the description. So the cost is €259, and it's €95 to get it if you want to buy it in Australia. It's fairly it's a well-engineered bow, I would say. This one's actually several years old. I borrowed this from a friend of mine, but I suppose in a way you could say this is in a similar league to the other European bow we looked at, which was the Toth New Mongol. They're of this very sort of sturdy construction, and I have to say that it's very reminiscent of the sort of 1980s, 1990s fiberglass bows, which tend to be a bit on the heavier side, but it's got some pluses and minuses with that. Anyway, so it weighs 950 grams. That's quite heavy when you consider that the other bow that we looked at, the other horse bow, that only weighed I think it was 495 grams, so it's quite a bit lighter than this one. So this is actually 30 pounds at 30 inches maximum draw. 30 inches is the draw you're supposed to pull it to, and 30 inches is the maximum draw. We're going to do some shooting with this later on, but I'm just going to go over some of the more technical specifications at the moment. The bow length from tip to tip is 58 inches. The length of the bow strung, so when it's formed with the string, is 56 inches, and that gives us an F value of 0.52. Now I think I said in one of my last videos that the way you calculate the F value is to divide the length divided by the knock to knock length. That was wrong. I have no idea why I said that. Performance pressure, you try to do many things on screen, you get things wrong. So the calculations that I put out were correct, but the what I wanted to say was that it's the draw weight in pounds divided by the measurement from here, from knock across the front of the bow up to there. So that would be your 58 inches. So this would be 30 divided by 58, you get 0.52. 0.52, that's not very good. Really, you want something up in the 0.6s rather than 0.5. Anyway, we'll see. When we shoot it, we'll see what happens. So the minimum arrow weight calculation comes out to, because there's no information on the on either on Laszlo's site, on Laszlo Kasai's site, or on Hunt Archery. There's no information on there about minimum weight for the arrow, and the minimum weight for the arrow worked out to, let me just see, yeah, it was 239 grains. 239 grains. That is laughable, really, for a bow of this weight and this style of engineering. I think my gut tells me heavier arrows are going to work better. Right, the brace height on this is 6 inches as well. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, construction. Let's have a look at the construction. They're fiberglass. They come in a range of styles. It is almost like ultimately customizable. You can have all sorts of patterns put on here and colors and additional reinforcing pieces. This is the basic model, and like I said, this is the most popular model by far, apparently, according to Laszlo's website and Hunt Archery. So it's fiberglass limbs. They're covered in a sort of suede leather which has a pattern on it. You can see it there. This is kind of like the base model. This is flax whipping, so like linen effectively. There are wooden arrow passes on each side, so you can shoot it left or right-handed, or you can shoot Mediterranean or thumb draw, I imagine, because it's protected on both sides. These sears, they're sort of the typical Hungarian sear, where it's slightly curved but quite long, and there's no real, I mean, I suppose you could call this the Kazan and this the bush, but really it's really mainly the sears, just a large bush on here. That's made of ash. They're quite nice actually. It's got a nice piece of wood. So that's it really. Oh yeah, just have a look. The arrow pass is quite good. It's quite narrow. I mean, consider the width of the limb. This is probably only like 3/4 of an inch, if that. Maybe what are we saying? 18, 20 mil. It's not very wide at all. It feels good in the hand. It's got a fairly good geometry. It's because it's got that depth in the handle. It's quite nice to hold on to. Anyway, let's string it and we'll have a look at the draw experience. Oh, we got caught up on there. This is a newer string. Let's put that in there. Going to use the step-through method. I saw a new version of the step-through method. Instead of using your ankle, what you can do is you can use you actually do it the other way around. So instead of stepping through with the right leg, you step through with the left leg and rest it. I don't know if you can see that. See, I'm resting it on my leg like that, and what you do is you kind of bend forwards. You bend your body forwards, and your body weight allows you to pull this over. It just gives you a bit more chance to see what you're doing. So that's another. I like that one actually. You don't have to use your arm so much. You actually use your body. So there we go. That's the shape of it when it's strung. So, like I said, it's about 6 inches, well, a tad under 6 inches on there. These are, yeah, they're the same height on there. Good string servings, nice string actually. It's quite, you can hear vibration and twanging. It's a lot of weight moving forwards. Let's have a look. So I'm gonna grip it, give it a pull. Can you see that? I'll step back, it's so huge, it's hard to keep it in frame. There we go. You can see it doesn't actually touch here. This is typical of Hungarian bows. They don't actually have a string pad or anything there that the string rests on. In fact, they don't rest at all. It gives it quite a smooth feel. This is only 30 pounds, so 30 inches about there. That's quite a pleasant draw. It's fairly gentle, Does it stack towards the end? It feels like it wants to keep going, but I've taken it to the maximum draw, but it just keeps going. It doesn't seem to stack at the end at all. No, I could probably draw that out much further. Right, so let's do some shooting. Yeah, come on. So now we're going to do some shooting with this bow. This is the bow from Laszlo Kasai. It's called the Buzzard Avarian bow. It's a Hungarian style bow, and it's 30 pounds at 30 inches. And because Laszlo shoots Mediterranean style, we're going to shoot the bow Mediterranean style. However, I'm probably going to shoot it thumb draw after I've done this, and we're going to compare notes and see what happens. So we're starting off with the 400, Remember, the minimum arrow weight that was recommended was actually 239. That's from the F value. So this is 400. So this is considerably heavier. So let's see how this goes. Okay, there's some vibration there, and it's still going. It's still vibrating even now. Next one. Yeah, there's an awful lot of vibration. I won't lie to you. It is very unpleasant. Very unpleasant. Now, these are 500 grain. We'll see how they go. It's amazing how the 500 seem to work, but there's a bit more punch to that. The arrow's a bit stiffer. Less vibration, but it's still going, even now. Boom. Going. Just about stopped. All right, let's try the very heavy ones. Well, not very heavy, but heavier. This is a 650 grain. So let's have a look. See what this does. There's still vibration there. There's quite a lot of it. I'd have to say. Feels better actually with the heavier ones. Now what I've got here is, these are really heavy. These are 700 grain. They're medieval arrows. They've got a bodkin on the end. Really puts the weight up. We'll see if this can quieten down the bow, because even those 650s, they weren't doing it. Let's have a look. Okay, that's feeling a bit more manageable. But yeah, it's unpleasant. There's no way around it. There's no way to describe it. The hand shock is massive. I mean, and it does not stop. Okay, I'm going to get those arrows and we're going to try Thumbdraw. And what we're going to do is we've just shot using Mediterranean style, which I have to say was a little bit lackluster, but I was only drawing it to about 28 inches. Lots of vibration. Oh, the birds seem to be disagreeing. Lots of vibration, and it was the arrows were really dropping. It felt like a lot. I'm only shooting over 10 meters, and the arrows felt like they were dropping quite substantially. So I'm going to try shooting with Thumbdraw with a 400 grain first, and I'm going to draw it probably back to about 30 inches, and we'll see how that goes. Right. Very heavy, lots of vibration. I'm going to try this Korean style katra. That was a bit better. I have my suspicions. I've noticed it over my shooting, my time shooting, that when you use katra, if you get it right, it does seem to reduce the amount of vibration in the bow, I think, because you're sort of somehow throwing the vibration away. If that makes sense, it doesn't go up your arm so much. It sort of gets released through the bow. You're letting the bow do its own thing, and it sort of, the vibration goes that way. Hard to explain, but the shooting experience is more pleasant when you use katra, so I can't exactly explain how it works, but it does work. So here we go. These are 500 grains. I'll use the Korean katra. Yes, nice. That's shooting well. The 500 grains always seem to go well. Yeah, there's still a lot of vibration though. This is 600 grain arrow, 650 actually. Oops. Let's see what this one's like. Oh, that's feeling a bit more manageable. Still lots of vibration though. It just goes on and on and on afterwards, doesn't seem to stop. But using Katra, it seems to take the vibration away from my shoulder. Yeah, well, lastly, I'm going to try these. These are about 700 grain. They're quite heavy. They've got a huge bodkin on the end. They're wooden knocks. Let's have a look. Started to come to life a little bit now. It's not feeling so brutal. Yeah, good. 2 good center shots with those actually. Nice and straight. Vibrations calmed down a bit. Right. Yeah. The same as with the Toth Mongol bow. There seemed to be this way of making bows, I think, from the 1980s, 1990s in Europe, probably when Eastern archery started to become a bit more fashionable and they started to make bows. But they're still using this, even to this day, they're still using this technology where these limbs are incredibly sturdy, almost engineered, overly engineered limbs, and it just means there's an awful lot of weight. And I was just checking on the Laszlo Kasai on his website and also on Hun Archery, and they say even though this is basically fundamentally, essentially a horse bow, you can't use it on a horse because it's too large. Make of that what you will. The accuracy is fairly good. I mean, I like the narrow arrow pass. For a beginner, this could be problematic because shooting this bow, because you're going to have to be using really Katra straight away in order to alleviate some of the sensations of vibration. I don't know what to say. It's quite brutal. It's quite brutal. But with Katra, heavy arrows, that calms it all down. So if you have one of these or you want one of these, make sure you learn how to use Katra and you use quite heavy arrows. I mean, in the end, my 650s weren't even heavy enough, the 700s. So we're talking like, what are we, like 44 grams, something like that. They're quite heavy. Yeah. It's an older technology, what can I say? Okay, anyway, with that, I will catch you later.